How come almost half of African Caribbean girls pass 5 or more GCSEs and only 27% of their brothers reach that level? Is it culture, prejudice, peer pressure, parenting, teachers' lower expectations? Until we know the cause, we won't find a solution.
Some possible pointers were provided by a 3-year report on London black boys' achievements, published in autumn 2004. Consultant Rosemary Campbell explains its remit.
This piece of research commissioned by the LDA actually gave us an opportunity to begin to get underneath some of the bigger questions about underachievement.
One question was, do you think that black pupils often have different school experiences compared with white pupils?
I think the reason that black boys reported having a less positive experience of schooling than their white peers was the fact that teacher-pupil relationships were often described, not always, but often described as so poor. They talked about teachers having low expectations of them. They also talked about almost a predisposition by their teachers to see their behaviour as deviant.
The report's findings encouraged the setting up of an 18-month initiative, Aiming High. Under this, 30 schools each received £25,000 to fund improving academic outcomes for African Caribbean pupils.
Aiming High's impact on participating schools, such as Charles Edward Brooke, is being assessed by Professor David Gilbourne.
It's helped schools to kind of break that silence around race in education, that they can actually start talking about race inequalities and some of the particular things that schools can do to help improve the situation.
The work with middle leaders in terms of heads of department was particularly interesting by assisting them in reviewing their curriculum so that it was actually more reflective of the students. I think the other piece of work that was very exciting was the work on data analysis and getting schools to understand the importance of being able to break down data by ethnicity and identify some of the strategies for raising attainment.
The Aiming High project has been specifically targeted at the group of students, Caribbean boys, who are most likely to underperform. Are there dangers in such targeting?
I think one of the things that we had to persuade schools of was that by focusing on particular targeted groups, they weren't doing so to the exclusion of other children in the school.
The DFES is now extending the Aiming High scheme to 100 schools. Sadly, the money on the table will fall from £25,000 per school to a mere £3,000.
Will lower funding reduce the impact it can have on participating schools?
Well, what really makes the difference in these issues is the determination of the school and especially the leadership from the senior management of the school. So in some senses, every school can do this. You don't need any additional resources. It's easier if there are additional resources available to support it, but what really matters is the determination of the school.
I have one final plea, given that the pot of money in the extended scheme has fallen from £25,000 to £3,000 per school, roughly £2 per pupil. The DFES should not expect a miracle. Not every teacher can feed thousands with a bit of bread and fish. Goodbye.